So I have a good training for you today. Before I get in that, I want to just talk about a couple things. This can be a really amazing year for you if you make the changes, right? I set my goals. I spend hours at the end of the year setting my goals. I don't go out for New Year's. I usually travel during Christmas, and then I get back with enough time. I never travel over New Year's, right? I get back with enough time to where I can devote 3 or 4 days into goal setting, writing things down. But you know, those first couple of days, you got to ask yourself, what's really changed, right? I wrote things down, but what am I doing differently? That's the main thing. Everybody has a New Year's resolution in the normal world, right? I don't really do that because I'm setting goals daily, monthly, quarterly, annually anyways. But what's changed? Are you waking up and doing those push-ups and sit-ups? Are you, doing your meal plan? Are you staying away from sugar? And 4, 5, 7, 8 days go by, and just like Shaq said, you're kind of the same, and you're going to have the same year. I want to show you something here. So Thomas is going to share the screen. I logged into my Google. I want to show you what my year was last year. Okay? I don't do this. Go to my Facebook, go to my Instagram, go to whatever. I don't post anything. I don't need the world to see what I'm doing. Shaq and I were talking about this. People will post what they're doing and they'll add a song in the background. And it's like, wow, you are creating a production for the world to see what you're doing. I'm not hating on that. It's just maybe I come from a different generation. I think it is what it is. I'm never posting what I'm driving, where I'm living, where I'm going, right? Once in a while. If it was up to Josh, he thinks I should be posting everything. I get it. That's a different generation. So don't take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to brag to you. What I'm trying to say is I don't care what the outside world is thinking about my life and my lifestyle. I do care what you guys think because I want you to know what you can have if you do the business the right way. Look at this right here. Okay. Right? Antigua, Fort Lauderdale, LA, Houston, Vegas, Santa Ana, Vegas again. By the way, this is only September to December. Okay. Look at the dates. Look at the dates. Okay. Keep going. San Francisco, Baltimore, right? That was a one-night thing over there. Orlando, again, Miami, Washington, Miami, Punta Cana. What does that mean? That didn't mean I had a layover. That means I stopped in Miami and then I went to the Dominican, right? Miami again. Here, I went skiing in March. I went to Vail and Telluride to go skiing. People say, when I tell people I've never been skiing and those are the first 2 places I went, they were like, that's insane. Because you went to the 2 best places in the world already. March, Fort Lauderdale. Here, Santa Ana, that's California again. That's Vail. That is Fort Lauderdale. Okay, this one is in there. I didn't actually do that. Aruba. So exactly 1 year ago. Now, think about how many vacations a regular employee takes. How many? How many? I don't know. I mean, 1, 2. That's 20 years of vacations, Sheila, in 1 year. But let me show you something else. Bring up my rep profile. You got that? Okay, this is it. I got all of this is public information when you're in Primerica. I can't hide anything. Let me see that. Here you go. On top of that, I made 360,000. What was that? 20 trips? I don't want to exaggerate. I don't count. How many trips still made 360? Right? That's what we're talking about here. We interview people. They're telling me They're telling me no because they're trying to follow some system that they learned on TikTok. Really? Oh no, man, I'm doing this real estate thing where I'm buying a duplex, right? Josh tells me about, I'm buying a duplex, I'm gonna fix it up, I'm gonna stay in one, you know, and then I'm gonna rent out the bottom. Good luck with that. Good luck following TikTok for your financial advice, for your financial life. I'm not saying that people aren't there, aren't successful. What I'm saying is that person standing in front of you saying, I will help you get what I have. It's not theoretical. I can show you my bank account. I can show you my investments. I'm logging in. I'm showing you. People don't want to listen. They say, oh, I'll listen to some of what Shaq and Samir say, right? And then I will do my own thing. You want to run your team? Do you even have a team? You don't want to do the activity. You want to follow other people and other businesses on freaking social media. This is not social media. I'm not some guy that you saw, right? I'm in front of you saying, I want you to get what I have. Someone showed me all of these things many years ago. And they said, you can have this if you do the right things. I followed exactly what Shaq was doing, not some of it. Does that make sense? I'm not saying there aren't people with a lot of savings that can't go do exactly this next year, but they're not also going to get the 360. I know people that, you may know people, they're getting the 360, but they can't go away 25 times.
Yeah.
I'm talking about both. Dude, I'm 39. I'm not 60 years old. Right? And for real, how long has this been going on? I don't talk about it. I'm answering my phone from the ski slopes because you guys need me. I'm not like, hey, I'm skiing, I'm busy. I don't do that. People think I'm nuts, the places I answer my phone. Like, you're taking a business call right now? Yeah, Sheila needs me, right? Josh needs me. Esmeralda needs me. Esmeralda. So I don't have true freedom because my phone is still ringing and I still need to answer those questions for my people. But, you know, I was putting in, I'm putting in a loan application because I'm thinking about buying a property, thinking about it. Okay. And the guy looked at my application. I said, look, before you run the application and run my credit, I want you to look at my 2 years tax returns. And I want you to tell me just if I could qualify for $1 million loan. I don't want anything less. And I need you to tell me based on the way I file my taxes, because self-employed is a little bit different than W-2, can I? This guy calls me, it's Anisha's mom's friend, and he goes, and that doesn't mean I'm going to do it with him. I'm just consulting with him, right? I'm not doing the loan, I'm just consulting with him. And he goes, hey, your Primerica business and your other sources of income, you're above a 40% tax bracket. Like, you are going to have no problem qualifying for any loan that you want. And then he proceeded to compare me to his son. And he goes, you're just like my son, man. He's in the above 40s. He paid over 100,000 in taxes also. He's looking for some tax breaks. You know, we have a couple of properties for him. You should be looking at getting properties. And he kept saying, my son is like you. My son makes like you. My son is like you. And I go, let me guess, your son is a doctor. And he goes, how'd you know that? And I was like, and he's on W-2, right? And he said, yeah. So what I was implying, because Indian people are always trying to brag about their kids, right? I'm sure my mom does it too, not in that way, but especially when they're doctors and lawyers, they're always talking about that. So I knew that he was saying it almost for me to ask, but in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, well, your son is working, 60, 70 hours a week. Right. I'm in that tax bracket and I'm working part-time. But these are all choices that I made. I left the medical field so I could come in and have this type of lifestyle, right? People say, hey, when we plug into these trainings, how come you're not talking more about the products? Again, you can get the 360, you're not going to get the trips. Mm-hmm. Do you want to have both? The only way to have both is to have a large team that's producing even when you are not there. As long as you fight it, you're pushing back what you inevitably want. Everybody wants this. I don't have to ask you. That would be a dumb question, right? But the question is, are you doing what it takes to get that, or are you doing what it takes to be in sales? Sales and Primerica, the building opportunity is very different. And I have another picture on here, right? So I travel, I go to all those places, I leave the nice hotel, and this is the view from my living room.
Mm.
So I leave that, and then I come to this. Thank God. Thank you guys that are on my team. I'm very blessed. But at the end of the day, right? And I don't, I'm not, although I am religious, for those of you guys who know, I don't like Shaq talking about it in front of the room. I don't think everybody appreciates that, right? So if I never want people to think that I have some big ego or that I'm not thankful just because I'm not saying it. That's my belief system, is that I don't have to talk about it. But you guys know that I'm at prayer every Friday. You know the things that I do, some of you know what I give, right? So I am very, very blessed. But at the same time, I also know that I made a lot of sacrifices. And before I get into my actual training, I want to talk about something. There's in psychology what they say, and in the self-improvement world, they say that if you want to succeed, you have to feel like you deserve success. And I'm glad a lot of people are writing that down, because when I heard it, it blew my mind. Yeah. See, people can get easy money. The problem, though, is that they won't feel like they deserved it, and they'll figure out a way to get rid of it all, or they'll just feel bad about themselves. So what happens in the business is people don't want to sacrifice. We say, hey, if you're local, come to the meeting, right? And outside of COVID, hey, some people got to find babysitters. Some people have to drive a long way. Maybe they have to drive an hour and a half, whatever it is. People have to reach out to friends and family for appointments. People have to study for an exam. People have to stay up late sometimes. People have to wake up on a Saturday morning. I get it. These are all, I don't think they're big sacrifices, but they are sacrifices. So we avoid making people sacrifice, or you're avoiding making the sacrifices yourself, which actually lowers your feeling of deserving success, and your deserving level equates to your actual level of success. Does that make sense? So if we don't sacrifice, we don't feel like we deserve, and then we don't get the success. Does that make sense? Whereas if you're willing to sacrifice, and the bigger the sacrifice is, the more you feel like you're going to deserve, right? Have you ever heard someone say, dude, I better make it happen with everything I got going on, with as hard as I'm working, I know it's going to come for me. That's a person who feels like they deserve it. That's how Sheila talks. That's how Jen talks. That's how Josh talks. That's how Shondell, that's how these people talk. Because they know what they're putting in. You're going to feel worse about yourself if you avoid the sacrifices. You're not going to get what you deserve, or you're not going to get to that point. So bring up the training real quick. I want to talk about just some basics, right? About Primerica, what we do, how I view it, how I talk to people about the business, and we'll fly through this stuff. Right? At Primerica, the reason why this is such a good business is because we are addressing huge needs. Huge. We're not addressing, something that is a concern. We're addressing the main concern. We're not addressing wants, we're addressing needs. You're going to start to see a shift now in the economy, in what you hear in the news, in the stock market. Things are changing. I'm not going to get into the mechanics of the economy, but there's not going to be as much excess income and spending out there. And when times like that come, I'm not saying it's a recession. I'm very bullish on the market. I'm bullish on the economy. But sometimes when there's less excess, there is an impact. There is an impact. And people are not going to necessarily go after their wants. They're going to stick to their needs, right? So let's talk about the main two needs. Okay, the two greatest concerns. What if I die? What if I live? That's a lot. That's a way bigger need than what if I lose weight? What if I don't? What if I have better cell phone coverage here versus there? What if I have these options in my car versus this one doesn't? Those are all needs. Those are addressing needs. But remember, bigger the problem, bigger the profit. These are big time problems when we sit down and talk to people. You know, as the protector of your family, have you considered what it would be like if, God forbid, something happened to you tomorrow? You didn't wake up tomorrow. That's a big question. That's a really big question. So we address that with life insurance. The other question is, what if I live? I'm going through this with my mom right now. I've been through it with my dad because he's significantly older than my mom. And now I've been in the business 17 years that a lot of my clients are reaching retirement. What we tell people is, we'll be with you up until and through your retirement. Now I'm going through retirement with people. And it's amazing the psychology of this with a retiree, that my clients who have 5 million are just as scared and concerned as my clients who have 500,000. And I don't understand. It's just like, dude, you'll be fine. You will be completely fine. You have nothing to worry about. But they're worried. Mm-hmm. What are they worried about? Longevity. Am I going to outlive my income? Who's going to be able to take care of me? What if I get sick? What if my investments go down? So we are addressing these two things, one with life insurance and one with investments. So when people say, hey, well, what are you doing at Primerica? We are addressing, what if I die? What if I live? Let's talk about these two things actually, let me stick on this, right? Shaq and I came back, and Sophia, from the leadership meeting. This is only the people in Primerica that make 250,000 or more. How many people were in the room?
850.
850.
And their partners.
850. 850 couples, right? Or people in Primerica making a quote. What company? Think about that. Think about that. An auditorium of people not making 50, 60, 100, $250,000 and up. Unbelievable. And in that meeting, the president of the company, he said that Primerica hired McKinsey. Now, if you've never heard of McKinsey, McKinsey is like, we laugh at corporate America. There's certain companies that are above the laughing, right? Goldman Sachs, McKinsey, these types of companies, they only hire Ivy League. Their salaries, $250,000 and up. These people become senators. They become presidents. The president's kids go work for these types of companies. It's the #1 global consulting company in the world. I was surprised to hear Primerica hired them. So Primerica hired them, and they said, what is the outlook of our company? Research our company, learn the ins and outs, and tell us about our future. And what it came down to, I'm sure it was a very long report, was two things. They said, you are riding two waves. The first wave that you are riding is face-to-face distribution. Every other company in your industry is getting away from face-to-face. They're going to robo-advisors. They're going to all online. They're going to apps. Even when, one time I got some type of insurance for this rental unit, I got it on the Lemonade app. Y'all ever heard of that? Yeah. Right? So it's cool. It's like you're talking to somebody, but it's a robot, right? So McKinsey's saying, Primerica, the way you're set up with over 130,000 licensed people, what everyone is getting away from, you specialize, but the consumer still wants face-to-face. So what the consumer wants, you guys are positioned more than any other financial company to give it to them. Yes, we moved from maybe being in your home to on Zoom, but it's still personal, still face-to-face. You still have my cell phone number. The second wave that we are riding is the demographic wave. Demographic means that the rise in professionals that are women and professionals that are minorities. Our company is huge. Over 50% of the people we hire now are women. I know it's like, oh, isn't it 50? No, most companies aren't that way. Of the new $100,000 earners, like soon to be Sheila, right, are women. Can other companies say that? Minorities and women. That is where the world is going, especially in America. And they said, we are riding that wave. And they said, and the type within that, the type of opportunities that people are looking for, they're looking for 1099. They're looking for a part-time. They're looking for side work. So what they said was, you guys have an unbelievable outlook when it comes to the future. That was awesome for me to hear. And it really comes down to answering these two things. I'm going to fly through this. So we do life insurance. This isn't for clients. This is, I'm talking to you as the agents. Why is that something you want to get into? Well, it's the most profitable of all the insurance products. It's way more. If you talk to people who sell car insurance, I think they get 14% of the annual premium. Like if you're the broker, you get 14%. The people under them, I don't know what they get. Here are our lowest contracts, right? District leader, you get 50% of the annual premium up front, which means that if someone gets you, this still blows me away. If someone buys a life insurance policy from a part-timer for $80 a month, that part-timer makes $500. Unbelievable. There's no other insurance like that. It's an easy test. People say that mortgage test is hard. Real estate is a difficult exam as well. Life insurance is an easy exam. I don't know why people put it off. It doesn't mean that you're not going to fail here and there, right? But overall, comparatively speaking, for the return you get on your investment, it's amazingly easy for how much money you can make with that license. It's a quick close. Look, man, some of the closest people to me are in real estate, but God, nothing annoys me more than when people talk about real estate. Because it's so widely accepted, and it's the same thing, just harder. It's harder, it's more capital intensive. I mean, people talk about, oh, I might get into real estate. That's fine. We're gonna have, do you read like things like real estate and mortgages? Let me give you an example. This is all I read and think about and study. I don't listen to music. I'm not on social media. I mean, all I read about is finance, business, the economy, the future. That's what I'm interested in. When the interest rate changes, Esmaldo, by 0.25%, refinances get cut in half. You want to be in that business? This is factual. This is the reality of it. Now, do we know people that shouldn't have been making 500 grand that made 500, 800,000 last year, maybe the year before? Yeah, I know people like that. But this year they'll make 2 and 3 and then even less. And then usually they get out of the business. Do you have your lifetimers in the mortgage industry that are there for 20, 30 years? Dude, major props, and those people will figure out a way to make money no matter what. You know, and if anyone's watching, they're like, oh, what about purchases? I'm not going to get into all that. I know people in the industry. They're my friends. Real estate, right? There was a time in 2021, I sent Josh the article, there were more realtors than homes on sale in America. Did you just hear what I said? Do real estate, but don't come at me like it's the same opportunity. I'm in a business where, Sheila, everyone literally needs what I do and no one else wants my clients. Come on. It's unbelievable. If I went in your neighborhood, Sheila, and maybe you should do this, and I knocked on 20 doors this way and 20 doors that way, what is this? how many of those 40 people would need something that we offer? What do you think as a percentage? Every single one. But if I knock this way and that way, and I say, are you ready to buy a home or sell your home? How many? 2, 3 out of 40? This is not that hard to understand. But because of TikTok, because of Instagram, because realtors are sharp and good looking and dress nice and all this stuff, it's become so prevalent in society and acceptable and cool to say, oh, I'm doing, dude, I know the numbers. I know realtors. I know how hard they work. I'm not putting down opportunities, but it's not the same thing. It's just not. What about sales cycle? Oh, hey man, I know someone, they made 20 grand for selling a home. How long did they show the client the home, right? Yeah, you have the clients. I talk to my friends, right? You have them, you met them, and then 2 weeks later, you know, nowadays, Anisha's mom told me, property in DC, she buys cash. She's a cash buyer. She said, she sent me the email. She goes, look how crazy the market is. There were 60 offers on that home and she lost. They're saying that homes, the demand will, we have an inventory issue for the foreseeable future. It could be 10 years. You can be the best realtor in the world. If there's no inventory, are people going to sell if there's not something else they can buy? You don't believe me. The largest generation, the population-wise, the largest demographic is and will soon be dominated by millennials. I'm 39. I'm an older millennial. Millennials right now are 32, 33. What do they all want to do now? Buy homes. And there's not enough homes. You want to talk business? Let's talk business. Don't show me some video on YouTube or someone that you know, right? Now look, man, the business, oh, and by the way, every single year, I know I'm pissing off a lot of people right now. Every single year, realtor commissions, that issue comes up to Congress every single year. And the Realtor Association, whatever it's called, right? They've been able to push back on that. Look, they already, even with Trump in office, the tax break got taken away above $700,000 on real estate. That was a big thing for realtors. They lost that. Now what they're coming after is this 6% that's generated when they sell a home, because it's egregious. It's ridiculous. You know, Shaq lives in a $1.8 million home. I don't care how much work that, I mean, think about it. He's going to get 60 offers on his home today, and that person makes $60,000, $70,000. It's stupid. Half the time you're on Zillow, you're telling the realtor which house you want, and that person's getting 3%, the other person's getting 3%. This shit is over, dude. It is. Redfin, Zillow, FinTech, right? Look, if I was in the industry, I would fight to death too and say, no, 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 people want this, that. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. There's a lot of young people, man, getting it. Do you want to get into a business that's going to be here in the long term? I just told you what McKinsey said. That's where Chelsea and Bill Clinton's daughter worked at. You know what I mean? Like, that company said Primerica's where to be. All my opinions, I'm allowed to have them, right? We're not talking politics, we're not talking religion, right? Nothing crazy. I'm just telling you my opinion about business. And you are in a business that is literally recession proof. Who are our clients? Everybody. Hey, look, the insured market for us is even better than the uninsured market. Yes. People ask all the time, hey, what if the people I know, they already have insurance? Even better, right, Sheila? When someone tells me that they have insurance, aren't you more excited to meet with them? How much they're getting screwed over? What are the chances they have the right kind of policy, the right amount of coverage, that they're paying the right amount, that they have an agent that responds to them, that it's the right company, it's the right amount of years? Every time someone gets married, that's a new client for us. Every time someone has a kid, that's a new client for us. Unbelievable. So you can think, oh, it's hard. I don't have a lot of, hey, this has been where it's at, and it's going to be where it's at. This is the future. Let's go next. Investments. If you've been to college or if you are in college, it's insane to me that you have not taken this exam. I remember being in college. I remember how hard some of these exams were: statistics, biochemistry, organic chemistry. Most other classes were, easy outside of science and math, right? But 2-3 exams, you can be in such a prestigious professional industry. We have no limitations. Anybody can get this license. We have 18, 19-year-olds that get this license. I had a meeting with someone the other day. His name is also Samir, right? It's small to hire, real nice kid. His name is Samir, and I was telling his dad. His dad was like, "Oh, I know those licenses are kind of tough," and I was like, "Yeah, but at a very minimum, it's a resume builder." I mean, imagine if these kids have Series 6 and 63 or whatever on their resume. If you're going to go that route, there's a built-in follow-up. These are my clients. I talk to them every quarter, every 6 months, every year for over a decade. It doesn't necessarily happen like that with life insurance. Once someone buys, it's like, yeah, if they need something, they call you. If they need to change their beneficiaries, change their address or whatever. But nothing is like the relationship you have when you're managing somebody's life savings. Huge commissions. I make real estate money on a transaction. I'm not impressed with your real estate commissions. I make that in a lot less time. How much? How much you want to make in one transaction? 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. You can do it. I've done it. Right? Sheila, part-time, one transaction, 17,000. And Sheila's apologetic about making money. Right? And I know why. Because she sees what's happening in her community with the other agents. She wants to separate herself. But at the end of the day, when I get that call, see, if you donate money, I donate like I've shown it to Josh, Jen, some of you guys, my spreadsheet of my donations, right? Well, what happens when you donate one year, Sheila? Right? What happens the next year? Yes. What am I going to say? Not this year? Remember that organization where the lady would go to Bolivia, right? And they would do all the medical stuff for free. What about Lorraine used to contact me every year and say the kids in the Philippines, and then you have a lot of them came from Sheila. And then I have my own as well. And they always know, hey, maybe someone will want that tax break. So then start reaching out to you in December. They're like, hey, still get that tax break and we need the money. Right? I'm not embarrassed about making money. Hey, they called me. They said, we need jackets for kids. I said, how many? They said 100 kids. And I said, how much is it going to cost per jacket? Right? They said $60. They said, how many kids can you sponsor? I said, all of them. Yeah. All of them. Right? And then more and more. So I don't have to feel bad. I don't have to feel bad about where I live, what I do, how much I travel, because I know I'm fulfilling my responsibilities. And if someone isn't money motivated like me, who are they going to call? I mean, the majority of the bigger donations, I'm not saying I'm anybody, but the bigger ones, like you hear people in fundraisers, they'll be like, hey, we have a donor, usually unnamed, and they will match all the donations. They'll do a match. Have you ever heard that before? That means that if the whole room raises 100,000, this one other individual is going to match that. I wonder, does that person work at Target? At Deloitte, or do you think they run their own business? You can feel bad, you can go the other way too, right? Passive income off your book. You build the clients. Sheila's my client. Mike's my client. Josh is my client. Israelda's my client. Shondel's my client. Shay's my client. Shaq's my client. Thomas is my client. Jen's my client. And all their retirement assets is called assets under management. And when I first started getting them, I was just a little kid. I still meet with my first client who gave me $300,000. That was my first big client. And I meet with her every year. She's an attorney. And I'm like, I just want to thank you. I was just so young and you believed in me. She's like, I knew you didn't really know anything, but I wanted to help you. She's still a client today. Love her. Right? I was just a kid. 22, 23, just getting little investments. Hey, those little investments aren't little anymore. That 100 a month turned into something. That 500 a month turned into something. That 10,000 turned into something. You know, and it's assets under management, and I get paid every quarter $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 just coming into the account for work that I did 10 years ago. I know 10 years sounds like a long time. Hey, the 10 years is going to go anyways, right? I think Brian Tracy says that, Jim Rohn, right? 10 years is going to go by anyways. You might as well invest it in something that's going to yield you real results. Incredible training, mentorship. I said this to one of Esmeralda's, you know, me and her, she's doing an amazing job getting in front of people. So people watch a webinar, then me and her talk to them, and we had tons of meetings last week. And this one guy was sharp, and he said, you know, this looks good, but I'm exploring some real estate, other things, right? Oh, really? You have $250,000 in capital laying around to rehab your properties? And he goes, no, there's other ways that I've learned where you don't even have to have money and you can figure it out and you can, okay. If that was true, would this guy, listen to me, would he be on an effing webinar with me right now? You think Anisha, who has a real estate portfolio, has a real estate mentor, has franchise, is you know, getting calls off of whatever because they're looking for an opportunity, yet they have we wouldn't be talking if that was true. And what I said to him in a very nice way, I said, hey, look, all the stuff that you're reading and seeing, I feel like, you know, some of those things, I already have it. I want to teach you. I want to help you. Why don't we talk more about that, the mentorship that we offer? It's not just the opportunity. You can go online and buy people's opportunities, right? But are they do you have their cell phone number? Are they taking you on appointments? Do you have a vested interest to see that you succeed at the same level that they have? A lot of people get into opportunities that are not their number one opportunity, but just because there's a better path to success, they choose it. You guys all could be better at something else maybe, but the mentorship you can get here maybe doesn't match the other ones. So I just think that this is going to be an awesome year. It's an awesome, awesome time. You know, the things that I say, man, I'm just trying to, I want you guys to be impacted every time you come to a meeting because you are sacrificing whatever amount of time, you know, whether you're on Zoom, whether you're in person, we appreciate it. I want to grow this year. You can see, man, my life is, thank God, already good. But what's going to make it better when you guys can show those pictures, when you can show me your view, right? When you can show me where you took your wife, where you took your kids, or where you went, or what you did. Because that's when I know this thing has impacted my life and some others, but, you know, I want it to be an even greater impact. So we need bigger trainings, more new people, you know, and I'm going to be way more committed to you guys this year. Thank you.